Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, sayonara, namaste. This is Mahwash Ajaz. You're watching me on the Expat Story. You're listening to me on Spotify. As always, I'm trying to bring to you interesting people, interesting conversations, people from all over the world who are telling their expat story. There is somebody on Instagram who's telling us an interesting expat story, but with a twist. He is telling us how to manage your finances. And right now, what better time to talk to somebody how to look at money? Money makes the world go round. That's just a universal truth. And I'm joined by somebody who is not just the embodiment of how money makes the world go round for the big guys, but also for anybody who's who's dealing with how and where and what to do with money. He's giving these amazing advices about finances, and also given the world that we're in right now, there are a lot of people who are ready to scam you for these kind of things. So what do you do with money? How do you be careful? What's his expat story? Mr. Kartik Iyer. Hi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for giving me your time. You are known as the financial wingman on Instagram.
Financial wingman, yeah.
Financial wingman. What's that story, first of all?
That's a pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that name. You know, the way it emerged out of nowhere. It was just a moment of inspiration somewhere. It came about. I quite like it. But it's basically the whole concept of the whole idea is that a lot of us spend most of our waking hours completely consumed by money. In a sense, we all take all our decisions are mostly driven by money. All our actions are to attain more money. All our fears are lack of money. And it consumes so much of our time. And the more that I've spent time thinking about it, the more I've realized that money is perhaps one of the only unlimited resources on this planet. And majority of us trade our limited resource and our most valuable resource, which is time, and we trade it for an unlimited resource, which is money. It just doesn't make sense.
Wow, never thought of it like that. Thanks. That's adding to my list of anxieties.
Yeah, but if we can just flip that script and start thinking about money as an unlimited resource, and our time as a valuable limited resource, and we flip the script, right? And that's what I'm trying to do for my life. And I'm sharing that journey along the way. So the concept of financial wingman is not that it's me or one person. It's just the whole. It's eventually, as I envision it, a movement where we can all help each other, or just spread the message that money need not be as cumbersome an experience or as cumbersome a concept as most of us make it out to be. And it's the narrative that we've all been. The general consensus narrative that spreads across generations and across cultures that we got to study hard, work hard, make money to survive, and make a living, and that's how it's done. And while there is some truth to that, that's not the most efficient way of living the most fulfilled life.
Okay, we'll catch more on that. But tell me why. What's your background? You have a financial background. What makes you an authoritative or a voice of authority for these kind of advices?
So I have about 17, 18 years of a very large experience in being broke, right? So I think that gives,
Does that really make you the voice of authority though?
So when you come out of that and, and then you see the other side and then you feel like, and I think, I don't know if I'm an authoritative figure. I don't know if I'm an expert.
Well, you are an influencer. You are influencing
in a sense that, everyone is an influencer to some effect. But, what I realized was that someone who was at 0 and moved to 1 can help a lot of people at 0.
Yeah.
For those who are at 6, 7, 8, or have been there a long time, it's very hard for them to relate to the ground realities of people at 0 or who are minus, who are in the negative. So for me, someone who was been massively in the negative, found my way to 0 and then started to move my way up. It's perhaps that is what, is relatable. And that's something that I wish I had along the way, right? Which could have prevented me from being at negative or 0 for so many years. Till 33, I was negative in, on the financial report card, I had an F till I was 33. And that's pretty shameful, right? Given that we're all sort of educated, we've all been through the basic rigors of school and college and degrees and all of that, and to still struggle financially till 33, where life is sort of paused. I couldn't get married, couldn't buy property, couldn't invest, couldn't take big life decisions, couldn't plan ahead, purely because money was an issue. So that I think, if that gives me, obviously post that I've now done my CFA and got into every part of the investing world, spoken to so many people about money and investing, and heard so many trials and tribulations of the common man who are struggling. And I've been there. I've been there for so long that it's like everything seems normal to me now. Oh, you're broke. Oh, it's normal. Oh, you got scammed. It's normal. Oh, you messed up on some real estate transaction. It's normal. Oh, your bank's calling you. You missed 17 credit card payments because you didn't realize until you got your credit bureau report. I've been there. So all of that combined, and all of it is normal and can easily be overcome with just fixing a few things and exposing yourself to people who've done it. And that's where I think the whole concept of financial wingman comes in.
So Kartik, what's your expat story? Your parents came to the UAE 45 years ago, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
1980 my dad came. So
Oh my God. Where are you from India?
I'm from Bombay.
Oh, from Bombay. And and you obviously were a baby, I think, when you came here.
Yeah, I was 7 months, I think, when my mum brought me from Bombay to Dubai for the first time.
Wow. You're just a baby. Yeah. So you're a Dubai kid.
I'm pretty much, I'm a Sharjah kid. Grew up in Sharjah for the most part. Went back to India because education after grade 12 here was, far more expensive than going back to India. Basically, when I went back to India, when I was doing the calculation, obviously I got a scholarship to go to the US, but it was way too exorbitantly priced to even cover tuition. Forget everything else. Sorry, my tuition was covered, but everything else was so much more expensive.
Yeah.
So basically, my 1 month school fees in Dubai back in the day, I'm talking about 2004, my 1 month school fees covered my 3 years undergraduate at a very good course, at an expensive course in Bombay.
Wow.
So it financially, in my mind, it was a no-brainer. Even though my parents wanted me to stay back here or go to Canada or go to the US, in my mind, even at that time, there was this one thing in my mind. I'm like, that's ridiculous. For 20,000 rupees at that time, I finished 3 years of my undergraduate degree. I don't know how much more value I'd have got if I had, stayed back here or gone to the US or Canada. But that's the story. And even at that point, I realized financially, what can I possibly get out of college that has to cost 20 or 30 times more money?
So you were a financial wingman then also?
For myself in some way, I guess.
So you've gone back to India, you're studying there. How long did you stay there and when did you?
So I was there for about 8-9 years. I was in Bombay for a while. I started my career there. And in 2.5 years of, so I started my career in an investment bank. It was phenomenal at 19, 20, 21 to just experience that kind of money. And,
I never understood that. Like, what's the high there?
It's a high. I mean, so just to give you a sense, when I was 21, there was a team there was a team of 30. Two 21-year-olds were managing that team of 30. And the total book size was 2,000 crores.
What? You mean the Star Plus numbers are true?
2,000 crores. We used to come with our sheets in the morning and we'd have our entire sheet in front of us.
And 21-year-old kids are managing
21-year-old. We were 21, 22, 23, 24-year-olds managing that.
Wow.
It was all the company's money. So it was not clients' money. It was the prop desk that we were managing. It was a particular strategy that we were managing. So we had a single mandate of what we needed to do. But it was, we were in a glass box. We were 30 of us in a glass box. And the floor was from one end to the other. You couldn't see the end of the floor in Bombay.
Oh my God.
It was in Nariman Point, fancy building, fancy office. The company was just around going for their IPO at the time. So we all made some good money for what seemed like good money for 20, 21-year-olds.
Right.
And it was a high. Every day in the morning was a high. It was phenomenal. And after I finished my second year there, I got, I think it was a 3 or 4 lakh rupee bonus. And it was a high, 3-4 lakh rupees. And that was less money than I was making for the company per day. Per day, me alone. So imagine this 2,000 crores was split amongst 30 people. Me alone, what I was doing for the company per day was maybe 8-9 lakhs a day. My annual bonus was 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs. Annual bonus. That's when it hit me and I said, something's not right.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. So I have the capability of doing 9 lakhs in profit for the company per day.
Yeah.
And the company is compensating me 3 lakhs per year. So my young mind said, this system is, I'm gonna start my own business. And that was a long journey that started at 22 22, 23 and went on till 33. Obviously, that when I told my parents this, they were completely, taken aback. They were like, "You're doing so well. Why do you want to quit? At least do your MBA. Nahi to, it'll have a plan B." So I did my MBA and then I started. I went on my entrepreneurship path for 8-9 years. Failed massively, and it was a great experience, no doubt. It was a massive roller coaster. Tried about 7-8 businesses. Put in all the money that I had. Borrowed a lot of money over the years. Traveled a lot to try and figure it out. Moved to China. Went to Africa. Tried a lot of things.
Wow.
In the process. It was good experience. Good experiences. But eventually, I mean, we can delve into that a little bit more. But I think eventually what happened was I was 32, 33. I told my parents, 2 saal de do. Just give me 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. And the 2 years kept going from 24 to 26 to 28 to 30 to 32. And then finally 33, and this is my party line, right? At 33, I was broke, single, and in massive debt. And that's when I had to put my ego away and say, it's okay. Let me go back, look for a job, and let's start this all over again. And that was, for my ego, it was a big jar to my ego because I'd always said I'll never make a CV again in my life. I thought I'll make it. I kept thinking I'll make it.
I'm an entrepreneur now.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, right? No one. I mean, it's every employee thinks they want to be an entrepreneur, but the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur are real. They're crazy, and I mean. People should try it. I think it was great that I got that thing, but what a job can do to you, can do for you, is very different what entrepreneurship will teach you and give you.
So while you were in that entrepreneurship phase, was that the high that made you keep on trying for at least almost 10 years?
Yeah, it was the dream, right? It was the dream of. That only entrepreneurs or business people can really become millionaires. That employees will always grow in a very linear fashion.
You were in India at the time?
So I moved back. I moved back to Dubai after I finished my MBA in 2011. I moved back
because
to Dubai.
You said you were in China. And
so all that happened. That was all up.
And that's all your entrepreneurship.
Yes, pretty much. So 2011 to 19, let's say 8 years was when this whole. 2009, 10, I quit my job. And
your entrepreneur era, basically.
Yes, my entrepreneur era.
Yeah. And then you're in different places, you're trying different things, and they're all failing.
I mean, in parts. I just never cracked the code.
You never cracked it.
At some point, I thought I was cut out for entrepreneurship, and I just wasn't.
You weren't.
And I realized this, and it was a very painful realization. To sit down in front of the mirror and just accept that तेरे बस की बात नहीं है.
नहीं है. Maybe it's not for you.
You have to cut your losses at some point. It was very painful to cut my losses because imagine going back and seeing all my friends who've now been in corporate careers for 12, 13 years, so far ahead of the curve, and I had to start at the bottom. It was tough to accept that, to look in the mirror and say, you tried, you failed, suck it up and move on. That was tough. But I'm so glad I did it. It makes you question a lot of things that we get tied down to for so many years and think that just because I've done it so long, I got to keep continuing to do it. So I think it's okay at some point to cut your losses, no matter in what area of your life, to cut your losses, say I messed up or it didn't work out. I'm better off for it. I've learned something and hopefully I'll be able to transfer some of those learnings and experiences in whatever journey I take next.
That makes sense. Yeah. Because sometimes it's only when you hit rock bottom, you realize that there is no further going down here. This is it. So now you are back in Dubai and now you've set up something here. What happened then? Tell me your story.
I'm a regular 9 to 5 employee now. And something I never thought I'll say.
I love the satisfaction with which you're saying this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's because it's it's completely different from what I had imagined that a life could be as an employee. As an employee of an organization working, you have a routine, you have to get up every day at a certain hour, you have a certain life, and then, you get a certain fixed salary. And I thought that's not the way to do it. But today I think it's the most phenomenal, it's the easiest way to build wealth. If you figure out a few things.
If you are smart enough.
If you're smart, it's the simplest way because entrepreneurship is hard.
Yeah.
The simplest way to build wealth.
And the risks are higher too.
The risks are higher. We can talk about risks. I have very, very polarizing opinions on risk. Yeah, staying in the same job for many years is also a very big risk.
That's true too.
But if done right, if you think about it correctly, and I think there's a lot of merit in employment. You learn so much. You learn how to deal with people from different areas. You learn you learn discipline. Discipline becomes part of who you are. But if you transfer that discipline to other parts of your life, I see so many people who are very disciplined because they come to work every day, right?
Yeah.
Imagine 30 years you come to work every day.
Yeah.
You're so disciplined.
Yeah.
But you've not been disciplined with your investments. You've not been disciplined with your health. You've not been disciplined with your relationships. You've not been disciplined with what time you wake up, with your meditation, with your spiritual journey. You've not been disciplined in any other area of your life except going to work 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. That's where people get stuck. But if you can take those same learnings and apply them to a couple of other areas of your life where you show up every single day,
Yeah.
boom, you can have a phenomenal life in every area of your life.
Well-rounded.
Absolutely.
So again, as your expat story, because I think if you're a kid who's born and brought up in Dubai, there are a lot of things that in Dubai can be very attractive in the beginning, and that's where finances play a huge role. People move here sometimes, and this is a common story. They've just landed in Dubai, and they've like splurged on a great apartment. They're partying. There's all other kinds of investments that they should be making, but they're not. Like they're buying designer bags or shoes,
Cars.
or cars. Yes, huge investments. What would you say to an expat who's just moved and who is probably going to fall in that trap?
So I'll say fall in the trap.
Fall in that trap.
Enjoy it. Because there's only, nobody can make anyone else no one can make anyone do anything.
True.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah. So they say learn from others' mistakes. Great. But if you don't make that mistake yourself,
You
you'll
won't
always
learn.
wonder what it was like. What if I touched that wet paint? How would it feel? How would it smell? How will I know? Right? Hot plate, don't touch. Screw it, I'm touching it, right? Because until your physiological body doesn't realize the pain of making that mistake, how will you overcome it, or how will you be better off for it? So make the mistakes. Party, blow up all your money, go into debt, fall for some scams, because
Great financial wingman you are.
yeah, because if you don't, the thing is, no matter what I tell people, right? And I've noticed this, so I don't say no, stop. When you come here, you should have your SIP set up from day one. Arey, chal be. It's not good. It's not good advice because no one does it. So I realize it's not good advice. So make the mistakes.
Make the mistakes.
That's why I said the first thing I said, the only thing that gives me authority perhaps is the fact that I was broke for 17 years. Right? And if I can help someone who was going to do it for 17 years, do it for 10, I've succeeded. If I can help someone who was going to do it for 10, do it for 5, I've succeeded. If I can help someone who's going to do it for 5 anyway, do it for only 3 years, mess up for 3 years, there's enough time to recover.
Yeah.
There is enough time to recover. Life, zindagi bahut lambi hai. You have enough time to make all the mistakes and still recover. And that's what I've realized.
Yeah.
Because imagine from 20 when I started my career to 33, 13 years I lost my income. I lost income for 13 years and I thought, how will I ever recover from this? Because everyone else around me had 13 years of income, 13 years of SIPs, 13 years of stability, 13 years of experience in their career. How the hell does one catch up to that?
Yeah.
I can tell you.
But how did you catch up with that?
I mean, so a couple of things. One, I got extremely lucky that I got a job just before COVID.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of things have to fall into place also, right? So we have to also realize that time sorts everything out. But at 33, during COVID, I was one of the only people who used to go to office because I lived in the next building. Now that was that's a huge advantage because everyone else in the office didn't come. So in that 6-8 months, I got to learn everything about a lot of things. And when everyone started coming back to work, I was already doing so many things for people. I fell in love with what I currently do. In the world of finance, on financial products, on how they work, and one day my CEO came to me and said, "Kartik, do your CFA." I said, "My God, at 34, 35, I was just getting married. At 35, and CFA was something I wanted to do when I was 19 in college.
Yeah.
And
Kids
I'm
do
like,
it.
"Shit,
Yeah.
At 35, I'm going to start studying again, and this is the most difficult financial course in the world."
Yeah.
So I told my wife, "Baby, we're getting married, but are you okay if I spend the next 2 years studying?" And she had no idea what she was saying yes to, but it was a huge sacrifice. But that year and a half, and because my wife was always on my case that, "Baby, you're not coming out at night, we're not doing this, we're not traveling." I said no. So I quickly, back to back, I finished that CFA. That was one thing. So that's why I keep telling people that upgrade your skills. Be aggressive to invest in yourself. Right? When I say invest aggressively, I mean invest aggressively in everything, not only in your investments, financial investments, but in yourself.
Yourself.
Because when you upskill, you can take such massive leaps in your career that it'll help you in increasing your earning potential.
But Kartik, what one super great thing about your story is that in this time when you're 34 and you've come from great losses, you were able to learn. I think that is, how did you manage that? Because a lot of people cannot. They feel like their minds are too, I don't know, I don't want to say the word solidified because the mind never really solidifies. But I think they're too set in their ways maybe
Yes.
to go back to something as basic as learning.
Yes, but I think it's when, and I keep telling my colleagues also, right, that man, I have so much catching up to do. Like I have so much catching up to do, so I have to put in the extra effort. You've done it for 13 years. I have to catch up if I want to catch up in 3 years or 2 years or 1 year, I have to put in a lot more effort. I had no choice. So literally, I remember during COVID, that was and that those lessons are something that I keep talking about and tell everyone this, because during COVID, for that 1 year, I didn't watch a single show on Netflix.
Everybody did.
Yeah, but I didn't, right? I don't know why. It's not like I chose not to watch. It's just because I consumed so much content on real estate. I just read every book I could find. I watched every video I could watch. I consumed every piece of content I could for my work to understand how derivative products work, because that was important for my work. And I found, how does all of these work? Because in the world of, let's say, finance, a lot of products are built on, let's say, options and derivatives. Everything is built on that. So I wanted to understand how that works. So I jumped so deep into it. I spent thousands. I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and I would, instead of having my morning coffee, I would go 3 kilometers away, pick up a cup of chai there, and then I'd walk back listening to the podcast. So by the time anyone at home would wake up, I have consumed 2 hours of content, and I would do this every day for that whole year. And so I learned about real estate. I learned about personal finance, investing, which I had no clue about any of these topics. I didn't know how real estate worked. How does mortgage work? How does debt work? So it's just a thing that I had this need to catch up. So if I'm going to catch up in the next 2-3 years, what am I going to do? And it is also about interest, right? You can't consume content as something that doesn't interest you.
No, 100%.
So for example, like I keep trying to learn AI.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not able to get it, right? I'm not able to crack it. I'm not able to crack it. But you give me anything, like there are so many areas like history. I love reading and studying history.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly reading about the history of money. How does it work? What happened at that point of time that led to us living a life today?
Yeah.
So all of that. Then, for example, once I started creating content, people kept asking me about Bitcoin. I had no clue. And Bitcoin was something else I could not understand. Ye kya hai, cryptography? What is all this history of money?
I'm still there.
Yeah. So
I do not get it.
I just never understood it.
Yeah.
And I used to put, I just punt on a small amount of money. But because so many people kept asking me, again, that became my next project. And I consumed everything. I read every book I could find. I used to wake up in the morning and just consume content on
So
Bitcoin.
obsessive interest works.
I hope it does. Bitcoin's got screwed, so I've lost a lot of money in the last 6 months. But I hope, if my understanding is correct, it will recover. That doesn't matter. But the point is, we have to take out that time, right? So 9 to 6, what you do during 9 to 6 will pay for your living. But if you want to pay for your life, it has to be 6 to 9. So what you do between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. will determine what kind of life you live. Your survival is taken care of 9 to 6. And that's what I'm saying, that those skills that you have to upskill, you have to invest in yourself. There's no way around it, unless everything's okay and you're okay with status quo, right?
Yeah.
You're okay with the way things
Equilibrium,
are, because
yeah.
life comes in the way. You got family, you got kids, you got bills to pay, you got things to take care of. Then the weekend comes, I get it, right? And nothing wrong with it. But if the question that you're asking is if you had to level up, if you wanted to take life to the next level, then those are the things that 6 to 9 is your golden period. Whether you're a morning
6 to
person, then
9,
6 a.m.
wow.
to 9 a.m. If you're not a morning person, then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Those hours you have to pull out time.
No matter what. Kartik, speaking of the world changing and life getting in the way the geopolitics is being shifted, a lot of people in the Middle East especially have had to now reassess how they're managing their incomes. what would you say to them?
You have to. I think it's a wake up call. And I think, we need to be shaken out of our comfort zone sometimes.
Sometimes,
just
yeah.
to
Realign.
realign, absolutely. To start thinking again. Napoleon Hill once said that, the biggest problem is that man doesn't think. Right? And I think moments like these get us to start thinking. We see the cracks in our own lives, right? And it's important once in a while. It's a shake up, right? And when we don't do things ourselves, the universe has ways of making us do it. Now, not that I'm saying what's happening is right or wrong, but I'm saying it's an opportunity for all of us to look within and see where the cracks are in our lives. Oh shit! Suddenly I realize, what if I lose my job? Because till now maybe I was coasting. Now what if I lose my job? Who's going to pay the 2 car EMIs, the 2 kids' school fees, and the mortgage?
Yeah.
What if I lose my job? How long do I have to survive? Oh, okay. I need to start thinking of an emergency fund. Financial Wingman has said this for the last 2 years, but maybe now it's time I do it. Right? So it's a moment for us to all introspect and look at the cracks in our life.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times, like for example, my nani is here in Dubai. And my only fear in all of this is that if something were to happen, how will I mobilize my nani? Because she can't barely walk and this and obviously she's old. But then it makes me think about my own health. Oh my God, I never want to be in a situation where because of my health I can't do something. So then health becomes important. Right? Oh my God, what is something? Let me call my dad a little more often. Right? Let me speak to him a little more often. So in every area of your life, be it your finances, your health, your relationships, all of this situation is a good time to introspect and look at where the cracks are in my own life.
And you're a fan of history. Is there a particular period in history you're interested in that you always think that, wow, I wish I was there watching this take place in real time?
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm just glad. I'm just glad I get
I'm here
to.
now.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm here today in this day and age. I wouldn't want to be part of any historical period. I'm
it's
very
that
happy.
scary?
No, it's not that scary, but I'm like, we're so blessed to be living in a world, and the number of things that we've taken granted today. If you show this to people 100 years back, they'd be blown away. Right?
Yeah.
They'd be blown away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I always quote this incident that from Louis C.K.'s, I think some late night show he was at, and he was very upset. He said that he was in a plane and he was sitting to a man who was very upset that the airplane Wi-Fi is so slow. He's like, you're in a plane using Wi-Fi. Give it a minute,
Seriously.
So I always like that because it puts in perspective how much we take for granted. What are the great highs of living in a place like Dubai? I think one of the biggest things that I always love is the kind of cross-cultural conversations I'm able to have.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, yeah, that totally is an absolute benefit. I think it's for me, it's more about, when I think about it, I get to decide the level of convenience that I want in so many areas of my life, right? I can't believe, I thought I'll never leave Bombay and move. I loved that city. When I was there, I thought I'll never leave. But when I came back to Dubai, I just realized that this place is just phenomenal. I mean, it allows you to be your best self because it takes away so much of the noise. Like, you don't have to worry about so many things that you have to worry about back home, right? You have everything. So if I had to focus and become the best version of myself, and I'm sorry I'm going into this part, but for me that's something big, right? My life is my biggest project. So if I had to work on building the best life for myself, what could possibly come in the way of doing that? Man, there is, it takes me an hour and a half to get to work. No, it doesn't. Man, I have to do my own laundry. No, I don't have to. Man, I have to do meal prep. No, I don't have to. Oh man, I have to, clean the house. No, I don't have to. Oh man, I have, what is going to stop me from living my best life?
From achieving your goals. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, my wife is going to hear this and be like, just do the laundry for once. But, if I can create $1,000 of value in an hour versus doing the laundry. Not that doing the laundry is not therapeutic. It is. But if that's a $20 task, can I outsource a $20 task and focus on a $1,000 task?
You're still making $980.
Yeah. And my laundry is still done. And it's okay. If I someday get into a situation where I have to do the laundry, I've done it. I'll do it. I've lived in boarding school. I've washed my own underwear. I've done everything. I choose not to do it today. I don't, because why should I do a $20 an hour task when I have the ability, or I can think of doing $1,000 task?
Yeah, you can outsource it basically.
Outsource it. So Dubai allows you to do all of that. And there are no distractions. I have no excuses here. There are no excuses. So if I mess this up, it's on me, right? And I can choose. I can choose to mess up wherever I want. Right? There's enough avenue. There's an avenue to do everything. Right? Dubai is the most democratic place in that sense. I choose. I decide, and I am in control.
I had a conversation with the CEO of ARY Digital, Salman Iqbal Saab,
Right.
who's a brilliant guy. And I asked him why he chose, because he was based in London at the time. So I asked him why he chose to build his empire, the ARY empire, in Dubai. He says Dubai gives you fair playground. It's just a fair ground for you to, the competition is even.
Right.
It's not like, oh, one person has to struggle from that area and then come, and then another person. So we're all, and the funny part is you have people from literally every nationality in this world who are living in Dubai. And then they may have some certain other advantages, but at some point in time, you realize everybody's on level playing ground here. Would that also be something you've experienced in the
100%.
financial world?
100%. I
Yeah.
mean, there's absolutely no doubt that literally anyone, I mean, there are so many stories. I'm sure you've met so many people in your journey who've come here and they've absolutely smashed it, right?
Oh, yeah.
In a period of 5, 7, 10 years,
Yeah.
they've transformed their next 3 generations' lives.
100%.
So this, it's also the leadership, the vision of the vision of our leadership here, the kind of thinking that, how long
They're
term
thinking
they've
like, I don't know,
thought,
100 years ahead.
and they've created the infrastructure across, not just physical infrastructure, every kind of infrastructure in terms of safety, in terms of roads, in terms of digital, in terms of everything is so, it's phenomenal, right? It's almost like you're living in a dream world,
Yeah.
right? It's just phenomenal. You're safe. You're safe here, right? No matter what is going on right now, right? Across generations, I'm seeing people, no, I would rather be here than go anywhere else.
Anywhere else.
People who have left and gone, in a hurry, they panicked and left. They're like, we realized in 10 days, we realized why we moved to Dubai in the first place. Right? And the people who've gone to Europe, I mean, life there is hard.
Yeah.
So,
I saw a tweet that said that I have a less chance of being hit by a missile or a debris even in Dubai than I have more chance of getting stabbed in London. And
it's true.
It is true. I mean, it's an unfortunate reality. And I always feel like something like this is a bit unfathomable for certain Europeans or Westerners, especially Western media, whose coverage I was very disappointed in when they talked about Dubai. So Kartik, tell me about what would you say to people who are considering the expat life? Because making it as an expat is like you can give maybe advices to people with financial responsibility about somebody who's had a stable life. But moving to a new country is a huge deal and it's a huge undertaking. You take it for yourself, you take it for your family. And I know I've made some very serious, I mean, me and my husband, we've both made some serious mistakes because we were country hopping. I remember we started living in Yemen, then we lived in Bahrain, Hong Kong, and then we finally came to Dubai.
Wow, okay.
And we lost a lot because every time you change a country, you lose. I've just bought a Stree and now I have to sell it.
Right.
And this is stupid. So, but alhamdulillah, we've been here for 12 years and we've made good investments. But what would you say to families who are considering moving here? How should they break down their finances? I'm very interested in knowing how families should be learning to save.
So when it comes, the minute people move here, lock, stock and barrel with families, I think they're a lot more sort of sensible in their approach. When people move here alone, that's when the
Things get weird.
The people do stupid things, right? For longer than they want. But when people move here, I mean, I've noticed a lot of people who have moved here in the recent past. They obviously, if they're moving with families at mid stages of their career, they're doing well. They moved here because they've got a significant upgrade in their pay, which is why they moved here. And I realized a lot of them did well, especially in the last 5 years. People who moved here, they all, for whatever it's worth, they all bought property. They've a lot of them were able to do that, and it's worked out well for them. So it gives them that sense of security. It's close to it's the center of the world. But I think the most important thing to realize is that even though someone who's moved to Dubai, it might seem like they've got paid a lot more money. I think they need to just come to terms with reality that you're also paying a lot more for everything here. The cost of living is much higher, and it's the thing about Dubai that we need to all be careful of. It's very easy to spend money here. There are so many avenues.
So many things.
So many avenues where you can have leaks in your boat. So the idea is to plug as many leaks as you can and ensure that your ship doesn't sink, so that you can reach your destination. So I think that's critical. My favorite thing, couple of things is your biggest expenses, which is your house and your car. I think
a school also, I think, is quite
school also, and that's a personal decision. And I perhaps since I don't have kids, I'm not the right person to give anyone any advice in terms of how much you should be spending on school, because that's an emotional decision, right? You can't tell a parent, listen, you're spending too much money on your school kids. You can't do that. Although some people are very cognizant of the fact, and they said, okay, how much difference could there be? And that's fair game.
I think for us, I'm a special needs parent, right?
Right.
So my kids are going to a special school, and there obviously varies in degrees of, some are expensive, some are not so expensive, some are okay, some are affordable, some are definitely not affordable for a lot of families. And I'm sending our kids to a very good school. And my reasoning behind that is because and I know I'm spending way much, but I feel like this is their time to learn. And you're right, you're absolutely right. It is an emotional, but it's also like sometimes I think that this is a very necessary investment for my children. This is the best I can do for them at this time. Maybe after 25 years or when they're 25, I might not need to. But at this point in time, I feel like let's give them the best that I can. As a parent, that's what
Can
I
I
think.
ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
As hopefully someday a future parent. Is there and you don't have to answer this, or you can be as honest as you like, but is there any semblance of guilt that you feel that if I don't give the best to my kids, I will feel...
No.
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 Okay.
No, I don't feel guilty. I'll tell you why. Because sometimes I feel weird things guilt. If I've bought a nice bottle of perfume for myself, I'll be like, maybe I should have spent it on. I feel more guilty on spending on myself. I'm a little bit cuckoo in the head. But I think that maybe somebody might feel guilty. A parent might feel guilty. That I do know a parent who took their kid out from an expensive school saying that I would rather save this money for the future. And that's also okay. I think that's also a smart move. But I think it just like depends person to person. But I don't know, you're judging me right
No,
now.
not at all. No, absolutely not. I'm thinking about it for my own self, because that's something that I'm developing. That's someday, hopefully, I'll be in a position to, I'll have to make those decisions.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about it for myself.
Yeah. No, I think that I think what's such a nice way of putting it's an emotional decision. And the best emotion associated with it to be is that am I not going to regret it 10 years down the line? And I thought of that. I thought that 10 years down the line, I will probably regret not giving them the best in their peak learning years. Obviously you learn all your life, but this is the time, like my one kid is 11 and another is 16. And they're both on the spectrum. They're both on the autism spectrum. And they're both going to really good schools. We're spending a lot on that. I think majority of our chunk is going there, of our income chunk. And and a lot of parents are not doing that. And that's also okay. I don't judge them. I think they know best what is financially viable for them. Kartik, tell me, when we talk about women and when we talk about how finances are important for South Asian countries, I think sometimes don't focus on how well women need to manage finances. And there's a lot of focus on dowries and like we need to spend on the wedding. And I feel like that's like such a gajillion dollar industry now, isn't it not? Where do you think? I personally think that those priorities are messed up.
Again, I got married during COVID.
No.
So it was the biggest blessing because, as I said, I was just sort of on unstable ground financially. So I'm so happy that we got married in COVID. I didn't have to spend any money.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
It was a court signing, and whatever money that me and my wife obviously had money saved up for the wedding. Whatever little bit that would have gone to the wedding, we both combined that and bought a property. So today, if I had to look at it purely from a numbers point of view and on a blank sheet of paper, be like, it's like that's the best thing that happened, right? So stop spending so much money on your wedding, on your wedding, and invest in your marriage. Wedding is one day, marriage is a lifetime. So why are you spending taking all your future income? People borrow money, and they get married. That's a very black and white way of looking at it, and I never tell anyone that, and I'll tell you why also, right? Again, these are big life moments. Maybe kids have grown up thinking about how they want to get married, and you can't take that away from.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can tell you, listen, don't spend this much money on your wedding. I hope I never tell anyone that, but it's interesting to think about that. Let's say a couple sits down and be like, okay, let's say we spend $100,000 on the wedding. I don't know. What if we had a small party today, which costs $10,000, invest $90,000, and then have a much bigger party someday when we can. I don't know. But the one thing, and the concept is true for the marriage versus wedding. So wedding is your instant gratification. Marriage is your delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And it's true for every area in our lives. And most of us, for maybe in a wedding marriage situation, it's okay. But in every area of your life, are you focusing on your wedding or are you focusing on the marriage?
100%.
Are you focusing on that instant gratification moment of eating something unhealthy or are you going to the gym?
Yeah.
Are you focusing on buying the new iPhone or are you doing your monthly SIP? So the iPhone is like your wedding day, but your monthly SIP is your marriage. Which one do you want? Right? That's one way of looking at it. But as far coming back to the marriage and the wedding thing, I feel, and I don't know why, right? Initially, when me and my wife getting married, I used to keep thinking about it. I don't think I've even told her this. I said the minute you spend a huge amount of money on your wedding, it gives you slightly more runway to make the marriage work. Because like, बहुत पैसा खर्चा हो गया.
Yeah, this can't come back from this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because today we're all living in a world where we have such short attention spans.
Yeah.
We have access to so much dopamine from everywhere. We
Yeah.
have so many distractions. A lot of relationships, and we'll keep seeing this in the number of relationships that will end, a number of marriages that will end, will keep increasing in the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So I just feel like if we got into something that we believed had some sanctity, then we should do our best to try and extend it as long as we can. And if we've not spent any money on that wedding, it's easier to walk out.
Makes sense.
That's just something I've thought about. There's no study or research or science behind it that I'm talking about, but it's just how, since you asked.
There is science about it. There is
that
science.
If you spent,
in psychology, it's like the more you spend on something, the more you'll justify it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's called the self-perception theory. A psychologist called Bem came up with it.
Right.
And he said that, for example, I've bought a really expensive watch. So now what I'm going to go around doing is that I'm going to tell people that there is so much benefit to buying this watch. So decisions you make that you have invested in somehow,
Right.
you tend to justify them and come up with explanations for them. Just wrapping up, Kartik, there are huge burdens, especially on South Asian men who have become expat workers, who've come to the UAE or the other Middle Eastern countries or gone anywhere as immigrants also. They have to send back home. There's a big chunk of laborers and workers who are also, mad respect to them, how they've built entire families back home, gotten their families, kids married and educated and all of those things. What would you say to them, and what hopes do you see in the future for people like that? And how can we, connect more to their struggles as well?
I mean, hats off, as you said. I've seen so many stories, and it's unreal, right? I know someone, 2,000 odd dirham salary, 5 kids, all educated, married, some of them. He's a grandfather, making 2,000 dirhams, 2,500 dirhams. Hats off.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing but respect for the fact that they realized that they had an opportunity to provide for people and put someone else's needs above his own. And I mean, it is phenomenal. And I mean, I honestly feel like, those are the people that they're the engine room of every economy.
100%.
Right?
100%.
We would not be able to, or a lot of, when I say we, I mean economies would not be able to survive without the sacrifices that they make. And I'm so glad that there is the opportunity for them to do that, because possibly this is what has taken care of their entire family, taken care of their entire generation. They've built homes, they've built palaces in their villages. How have they done? And trust me, I know. There was an electrician in a building that I lived in many years ago. He had far more money at that point than my entire family combined.
Wow.
I've seen his investment. He had SIP going on for years in mutual funds.
What's an
India.
SIP? Sorry, it's not a term.
Okay, SIP is a systematic investment plan.
Okay.
Right, where every single month you have a certain amount of money from your account that automatically goes into a certain investment.
Okay.
It could be a fund, it could be mutual fund, it could be an index, it could be anything.
Okay.
Or a stock or whatever. Any investment. Basically, it's like a tax that you put on yourself, so your future self thanks you.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's what an SIP is. And
and you can clearly figure out how dumb I am, because I didn't even know what an SIP is.
no, it's amazing. So I just quickly, I was talking to someone the other day and they asked me, what is an ETF? I'm like, shit, I've been creating content for 2.5 years and there's someone who's following me, who likes all my videos and asking me, what is an ETF?
What is an ETF?
Okay, there we go. So I'm glad that you asked, because it and I was thinking about this yesterday. It's an exchange traded fund.
Okay.
It's basically like a fund which is managed on its own. You put in money into that every month or whatever. It's a very low cost way of investing, which is a diversified portfolio. That means it has a lot of things in it. So it's like having a balanced diet in a pill form. Like having a full balanced meal in a pill. So you don't have to sit and make everything. It's all ready. You just put in money in that every single month.
Okay.
Simplifies investing.
Okay. And people do that?
I really hope so. I mean, if people are, if they're
I'm
not, it's like a mutual
so
fund.
much I have learned today.
It's
from
like a
you,
mutual
Kartik.
fund. It's like a mutual fund. It's a
Okay.
combination of various. You know what a mutual fund is, please?
No, I don't know what a mutual fund.
Okay, we got to spend 10 minutes after this.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! I don't know who's more shocked right now,
Like,
you
I
or
know
me.
what I've heard of a
Okay,
mutual
where do
fund.
you invest? Where do you invest your money?
Don't ask me these questions. Ask my husband. I don't know. He's
There you
doing.
go. So that's it. So you ask my wife, exactly the same. So women, wake up
That's what
and
I'm
take
saying.
control of your finances. What if something were to happen tomorrow?
Yeah, I know.
Right? God forbid.
I know.
You? And for me, empowering women today is like, after this conversation, it's really something I feel like I should take up. And I know women are doing it. Right? There are women in finance who are doing it, and I have super respect for them. And I really feel it's so important, because I know horror stories of women who have
I know.
lost they've given their whole lives and they've lost everything because the husband cheated or because something happened. You take ownership of that.
Yeah.
You got to take ownership of it in today's day and age. And it's so easy. Right?
It's not.
A financial wingman to the rescue.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
God. My math, I need a calculator for 2 plus 2. Yeah.
I
so
feel
that-
I
have a
feel-
mathematics disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, I think it's imperative that we all spend a little bit of time to understand the most important thing outside of our health and family.
Yeah. Thank you, Kartik, for your time and all the information that I realized that I did not know.
I'm glad.
Yeah, because I didn't know what a mutual fund was, an ETF was, an SIP, and financial wingman. I just, oh my God, he's about to go into he's about to faint. He's about to faint out of shock. Yeah, because I don't know these things, okay?
Yeah, and you know what an SIP is, an ETF is?
No. Yeah,
You know? Oh my God. Are you serious, guys?
Oh my
Oh,
God. You need to
no.
set up like, we need to set up like a lecture from you or something, or for,
God. No,
do
even if
you
it's
guys
rolling,
know?
Even if it's rolling, it's fine.
Yeah, it's
this
fine.
is-
Oh my! And that's such a common story. It is
story,
not
absolutely.
It is not your story. It is
It
the
is
story
so
of
many
so
people.
many people.
Absolutely.
I have had people, and my thing is, and I need to say this before we wrap up, is that in South Asian cultures, there's so much focus on celebrating a woman's, like, on her wedding. She'll be decked up as a doll, which is fine. Like, I love it. I love makeup. Like, no judgment on that. But like, I don't see parents teaching children, their daughters, financial responsibility, how to open bank accounts, how to keep some fund for yourself, and then all the money is going into these lavish ghararas they never wear again. And I had a friend who got married, and she was getting married, and she was like, oh, I love this designer Rara. And at that time, I think it was like 700 or 800K, the PKR. And I'm talking 15 years ago. 10 years ago.
$15,000, is that?
Around, yeah. So I was like, and she just wanted to spend on it. And I said, you don't have any money. Like, she had some money kept aside for her wedding. That's it. And whatever she was making every month, she was spending. And he's about to faint again. So, and then she spent it, and it hurt me. And when I was getting married, so I don't know if you've heard of this Pakistani designer called Banto Kazmi. Banto Kazmi is this exquisite grand designer, right? And my mom, who was super rich at her marriage's time, she wore Banto. So I wanted to wear a Banto dress. And we went and I tried it, and it was gorgeous, and I wanted to die at how, like, oh my God, I'm looking so beautiful. And then I've, like, how much is this? It's 800K PKR. And again, quite a fat amount of rupees that was. And my mom said to me, okay, you want this, I can get you this, but I would rather buy you gold. And then I decided, and she's like, it's your choice. She gave me a choice. She said, it's your choice. And I bought gold. I did not buy that dress.
Wow.
I did, yeah, because it's like, I'm like, what am I going to do with it? Wear it 3 times.
Absolutely.
And that gold helped me out at a very tough time in my life.
Absolutely.
So my thing is that for South Asians, Kartik, please say this to the South Asian parents.
Yeah, no.
Please talk to the South Asian parents. That's your camera.
I mean, I have my biggest audience at home, my wife, right?
Yeah.
She's also someone who's never needed to, and she now is like, oh, now you'll take care of it. I'm like, it's fine, but it makes me realize that there's this large audience there that goes to the same thing, that hasn't taken charge or hasn't realized how important it could be. So yeah, that's what gets me out of bed every day. That's why I make content every day. Hopefully it'll benefit someone. That's the whole idea.
Inshallah. Wishing you all the more power.
Thank you so much. I wish you the same.
Thank you. I've now learned there's an SIP, there's an ETF.
You meet me outside.
Meet me.
I
It's
need to
almost
give you
a
a
threat.
5-minute lesson.
Almost
My
a
God.
threat, guys. Please, if you were as clueless as I was, please put it in the comment section. Once again, thank you so much for your time. Financial Wingman, guys. I'll put his link in the description. You have to follow him for financial advice and bombard him with questions, especially women. Please bombard him with how to manage your finances and show his videos to your mom and dad. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Khuda Hafiz.